Vanakkam, Namaste or Sitaram, and welcome to another installation of that never-ending miniseries, Balidhaan. Sorry about that. And in this episode or this video, the we are going into the srimad Devi Bhagavatam, right? This particular one comes in a two-volume. There are those who have this one, this particular single volume that has all the teachings and everything inside there. And there are those who have this particular volume, this double volume. So we're using the blue one today, and we are going into volume one. We're going into book three, and we are going into chapter 26. And chapter 26 is where Jumbi J, right, is asking Vyasji or Guruji here in this aspect about what should men do on Naratra or Naratri. What are the offerings and so forth and such. And there it is, Vyas goes into much great sweet details, telling him how for different offerings, different arg or dar or so forth, jewels to be offered, flowers and so forth, to be offered to Ma, the size of mandalas, the hawans and whatever, the size of the hawan pit, the type of hawan pit, the shape of the hawan pit in fact, and so forth. But there's something very profound, very profound where you get this, right? It is said where he says, those who eat meat. Now, listen to what I'm saying here. This is where he's talking about doing all the devotions, but he comes to this part. Those who eat meat, they can sacrifice animals in this worship of the Devi. And for this purpose, goat and wild boars are the best, or sinless one, goats, etc., offered as a sacrifice before the Devi attain unending heavens. Therefore, persons offering sacrifices of goats do not incur any sin. O king, goats, etc., and other beasts offered as a sacrifice before the Devatas until they go to the heavenly regions. Therefore, in all sastras, it has been decided that this killing oil is known as a non-killing in the in this version. There's an extra line to that particular paragraph where it says it is considered ahimsa or non-killing. It said non-killing here, but this gives you the actual terminology for it, which is called, when this one it tells you it is called ahimsa or non-killing, and so forth. So we see here in this aspect of Naratri, and there is vast talks about two seasons. There are different Naratris within the year. I think there's about 5 to 6, right? And we will go through that. That's our next video to do also. But he goes through that the two major ones that is so dear to Ma and the to yet the Devi is the one in spring, that's the one in March, April, and the one in autumn that will be more or less September, October, right? And he's more akin to the one that is in October than and the autumn aspect, which is September, October. So we see that in doing worship for Naratham, to the day for the in that aspect, those who are meat eaters, can offer balidhan, offer sacrifice, and they go into it as in goats and wild boar, etc. And that is the killing. The offering is known as a himsa, non-killing, and no karma, right? No karma whatsoever, no sin is incurred by offering the Devi this or killing the animal. As for any other aspect, any other time you kill the animal, you will incur the wrath of killing an animal or someone. In this aspect here, you don't. So we see in the Devi Bhagavatam, it gives that aspects also to where Balidhan has been mentioned and where it can be done and what aspects where in the worship of the Devi in this form of Durga, Naratri, which we worship the 9 forms of Durga Mata. And the book, this volume, this particular chapter goes in to all the different items that should be offered, all the different flowers, the sweet meats, as in all the different prasadams, the arag, the dars, and so forth. that should be offered, even up to all the beach mantras, all these sacred, sweet beach mantras to offer ma and so forth and such. So it have all that an aspect in this. So we see here, right, in this particular video and in the Devi Bhagavatam, where it mentioned also that you can do balidhaan. It is offered. This in particular book more or less is akin to Shakti worship or Devi worship, but it gives prescription that balidhaan can be done and it can be offered, and it is not. It is considered a non-killing, and it is not. You don't acquire, you don't incur any wrath or any sin for doing the balidhaan for the Devi in this particular time frame. And there it is. They give you description of what and which particular animal, goats and wild boars are more preferable, so forth. So you have this, right? Please join me. I hope this video has been informative so far for this one. Please join me for the next video where we will go into the Kalika Puran. We're going to get one where we go more in depth into that. That there's a whole 2 chapters in the Kalika Puran that goes into the balidhaan sacrifice aspect, and it gives more details of more animals that can be offered, and we will go through those and much other little nuggets that is within it and so forth. Right? So I hope this has been informative to where you see where balidhaan here is also recorded and acknowledged and so forth in the Devi Bhagavatam, the Srimad Devi Bhagavatam. They tell you type of animals that you can do and so forth, and it is not considered a sin. The animals go to that heavenly region, so mean they get moksha and liberation, right? Meaning that in their next life, when they have karma, it'll be less for them also, and so forth. So we see all these things happening and occurring and so forth. So I hope this was very much informative to you. Please join me for the other video where we will go into the Kalika Puran. All right, Jai Sitaram.